Hello and welcome to Watch Releases update for the week of March 22nd until March the 29th. Let's begin with Tudor and their new Black Bay Chrono with a pink dial. It's been a few years since Tudor introduced their Black Bay Chrono Panda and Reverse Panda chronographs. If you remember, back in the day, these watches were super hot. They were difficult to get. At one point of time, the wide dial Chrono was the hottest watch that Tudor has offered. Now, 2024, 2 weeks before Watches and Wonders, we see a new pink dial addition to the Chrono lineup. Besides the new dial color, everything else about the watch except for the bracelet is exactly the same. It still comes in the same case. It's a 41mm stainless steel case. It has a 50.1mm lug-to-lug distance, and the watch is a little on the thicker side of 14.6mm, but it's okay for an automatic Chrono. In terms of the looks, I don't mind how this watch looks. No, I'm not rushing out to buy one, but even if I wanted to buy one, it's probably almost impossible to get one because, first of all, it's not even going to be in their standard catalog. It's one of those watches that Tudor is probably going to offer through their boutiques and probably to certain customers. They're not releasing exact numbers, how many watches they're making, if it's a limited edition. For sure, it's a special edition. This one here is, of course, a collaboration with David Beckham and his Inter Miami soccer club or football club for my European viewers. The team colors for his football club are pink, so that's why this watch has a pink dial. There's also a Taiwanese musician that wears a lot of pink, and that Taiwanese musician is a Tudor ambassador, so this sort of branding just made sense. And it also makes sense for Tudor to make this watch very exclusive, create a bit of an aura around it. Because yeah, it's not going to be for everyone, so people that really would want to get their hands on it, now they have to play a bit of a Tudor game. Besides the new dial, as I mentioned, this watch also comes on a new bracelet. This one has something similar to a Jubilee bracelet. I don't think Tudor actually calls it a Jubilee because Jubilee is a Rolex thing, but it looks like a Jubilee bracelet. We have actually seen the introduction of this bracelet, I believe last year, with their Tudor Black Bay 41mm diver, and now it's made its way onto the Chrono. I think it actually looks really good with the Chrono. I wish they would bring this bracelet to the other two options, to the Panda and the Reverse Panda. In terms of the pricing, this watch is priced at 5,670 euros. It's about the same in US dollars, but actually finding one of these watches and buying one, I think is going to be a tall task. Moving on to the next release, this one is from Christopher Ward, and it's a new model called C63 Velour. Christopher Ward is sort of a micro brand, sort of mainstream. They're either crossing that line into mainstream or they have already crossed it, I guess depending on your point of view. But what is for certain is that Christopher Ward has a pretty good reputation in a watch community, and it is known that they make good watches. Now they have a new quartz chronograph model that I think looks pretty sharp. Now, I personally don't love the look of these quartz chronographs, and believe it or not, it's not about the movement. The movement doesn't bother me. It's about the subdials layout. I don't like that upside down pyramid look to the Chrono. I like a more natural layout of sub-registers at the 3 and the 9, and maybe the 1 at the 6. The way this one is laid out just kind of looks awkward to me. Now, apparently this model is inspired by 1980s British military watches with the blue and the red pops of color on the subdial hands, as well as the monochromatic color scheme. I like the fact that this watch has applied Arabic numerals. I think that looks really good. I also like the set of hands. Since it's powered by the chronograph movement ETA G10.202AD, it's a thermal compensated chronograph movement, and it is super accurate to plus or minus 10 seconds per year, plus it comes with 3 years of battery life. And because of all of that, the case is very slender, so it comes in a 39mm case diameter, it's 45.8mm lug-to-lug distance, and it's only 11.5mm thick. Yeah, you won't be able to get the watch that thin with a standard automatic chronograph movement. Also, because of the movement, the watch is more affordable. These ones are priced at $750 US. It's on the upper level of what a quartz chronograph should cost, but if the watch is finished as nicely as it looks on pictures, I can understand why. Plus, this quartz movement is not a Mickey Mouse movement. This is a serious, proper movement. Just happens to be quartz. So, well done, Christopher Ward. The new Aquastar Benthos 500 Founders Edition chronograph. Aquastar and Benthos 500 have a very long history. I actually mentioned a different release from Aquastar just a few months ago. That one was of a H1 edition. It was sort of a variation of this watch. Now we have a new one that is more faithful to the original. And just by looking at this watch, you wouldn't be able to tell that it's actually a chronograph, but it is. So it's a mono hand, meaning one hand chronograph with a mono pusher engagement. That crown looking thing by the 2 o'clock position is actually a chronograph pusher, and that orange hand is a chronograph hand that goes around the whole dial every 60 minutes. It's a 60-minute chronograph, very useful for actual diving. Now, a lot of technology actually went into creating something like this. First of all, the movement had to be custom created by, I believe, Perret. So this one is not an off-the-shelf Miyota or something like that. No, they actually had to go ahead and create something specifically for this watch. Secondly, you can engage chronograph while submerged underwater. And lastly, of course, there's a long history behind this model. And if you are a Aquastar fan, if you're a fan of vintage diver watches, you will instantly recognize how cool these watches are. Now, they are a bit on the chunky side, so the diameter is 42 millimeters. The thickness, though, is almost 16 millimeters because you have to pack that movement into the case somehow. Now, this one comes with 200 meters of water resistance, not 500 like the other ones did. That's why the name is Benthos 500. I think they should have changed the name to Benthos 200, but probably for marketing purposes, it makes more sense to keep Benthos 500. Now, this will be a limited edition to 300 pieces. Why not 500 pieces since this is Benthos 500? But anyways, 300 pieces, and there's two different ways to buy it. If you pre-order until, I believe, May the 5th, then the price is $2,790. If you pre-order after that date, then the price is $1,000 more, $3,790 US. I think overall it's actually a pretty good value for money for a very specific buyer. So well done, Aquastar. The new Seiko Astron GPS solar dual time chronographs. Seiko Astron is not a very popular line of watches in North America, and I think Seiko is trying to change that. There are a total of 4 new models in this lineup, 3 of them standard versions, 1 is a limited edition. All of them are made out of titanium. However, the limited edition comes with a ceramic center link on the bracelet, plus these cool golden accents. Now, these watches are super complicated. The chronograph measures 1/20th of a second. You also have a dual time. You have AM, PM indicator, the date at the 4 o'clock position. There is a GPS signal for incredible accuracy. Of course, these watches also have solar power, as the name would suggest. There is a day of the week indicator, and I think a power reserve indicator. It's a very complex movement. So as you would expect, these watches are not cheap. The 3 standard versions come in a 43.3 millimeter case diameter by 13.4 millimeter case thickness. As I mentioned, they are all titanium cases. However, some of them are coated with this sort of black PVD coating and some are not, and that reflects in the price. So the ones that look like natural titanium are priced at $2,500 US. The ones that are coated are $2,700 US, and the limited edition, that's limited to 1,000 pieces, comes in a slightly larger case. The diameter is about the same, but it's 1 millimeter thicker, and that one is priced at $3,900 US, so quite a bit more, but it is limited edition, plus it comes with that ceramic center link. I personally am not a huge fan of these watches. I think they just look too busy, but if you are a fan, I think this will be a very welcomed addition to the Seiko catalog. The Longines HydroConquest GMT, now in 43 millimeters. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this watch, but I just wanted to highlight it because in my opinion, Longines has been killing it lately. All of their releases, pretty much all of their releases, I'm a big fan of, including this one. While most of the industry is moving towards smaller cases, Longines actually doubled down and made a watch that's in a larger case, which is welcomed because not everyone is looking for smaller watches. This watch was available in 41mm case, and it is still available in 41mm case, but now the 43mm version was also added. Now, what I like about this release is that they didn't make the case thicker. They still kept it just under 13mm in case thickness. It still comes with 300 meters of water resistance. It is still powered by the same caliber L844.5 automatic ETA movement with a GMT complication, and this one is a true GMT complication This is a Flyers GMT, if you will, and not a desk GMT. Now, the pricing is also fairly reasonable. It's priced at 3,050 euros on the rubber strap and 3,300 euros on the stainless steel bracelet. The price is about the same in US dollars. And that's it. Those were the releases that I wanted to highlight this week. I appreciate you watching this video all the way until the end. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what releases stood out to you this week. Also, if you're celebrating Easter, happy Easter to you and your family. I hope you're having a great and relaxing time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.